This is an Illamade production, live on the Illamade network. To all our viewership, please eavesdrop.
Alright, boom. In the building today, we got someone with a very incredible story, crazy, harrowing experiences, and you know, he's a man I consider he's unbreakable as far as what he's overcome, and him being here with us today, man. We got Mr. Stephen Graham in the building today. How we doing, bro? You
good,
alright?
brother, man. Good, yourself?
Much, I'm very well, bro. Like, being here with you to, you know what I mean? Just have a conversation, it's mad.
That's all good, fam. You know
Appreciate
having me still.
Come on, like what I said, like just seeing your stuff online, bro. Like some of the stories, like the fact that you're here today, bro. You know, you live to tell the tale. You know what I mean? You're overcome, and you know what I mean, looking healthy, you know what I mean, much wiser too. You know what I mean? So,
thanks, bro. I appreciate it, man.
Big up yourself, man. So, like I said, crazy story. But if we can go sort of take it back and we talk about your childhood, you know what I mean, the type of child you was and the type of things you was into.
Yeah, I was a loving child, bro. Lean to football. I love football and thing there. You get me? Love my music and them something there as a little boy. But you know, I was like most children, bro. Just trying to find happiness in it. Just trying to understand happiness in it. But I guess when I was between 6 and 8, I realized that, you get me, life ain't as happy as I'd like it to be. You know, my stepfather was very abusive, psychological, emotional, and physical abusive to me. Definitely physically abusive to me again. And those things in turn had a massive impact on the way I started seeing things. And again, it had an impact on my mindset and how I dealt with people and dealt with situations. You get me? So they say, you know, a theory is a theory until it becomes a fact. It's a theory until it becomes a fact. And I guess it definitely became a fact that abuse becomes the abuser in my life.
100%.
Because I became the abuser, you feel me? Like, at times, you know, as much as I was a loving youth, I would give myself the problems sometimes at school, and you know, I say it wasn't me. You know, I was a mischievous child. But most children are mischievous, but there was a darkness to my mischievousness in the sense that, you know, I feel like my actions replicated what my stepfather did to me. You feel me?
No, it's interesting because I've taken more of a lead into psychology. Like, I'm more into that stuff now, innit? So I know it's trail of activity. So when you talk about obviously having an abusive stepfather, you know, spiritually, emotionally, like every type of thing, him just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely.
The trauma that cause, it can lead to something so...
Yeah, bro, no, definitely. It led to me really not being wholesome or the best I could be, you get me? Like, it led to me damping my own energy and spirit. Like I said, not say I didn't have fun times, I didn't play ball, I didn't do certain things with my friends, but there was a negative times where me and him interact and our mouths would clash. Then I might go out and play with my friends, but I won't talk as much. Still play ball, still get on my game. But that's the next thing again, you're getting on with your game, but you're emotionally not
invested
somewhere else, you get me? Yeah. And, you know, he'd say things to me like, you never be nothing, and you're a fool, and this, and you get me? And, you know, you're going to be nobody in life, and them kind of things, you just want to be loved in it. You're 8, bro. I'm 6, 7, 8, you're growing up, you just want to be loved in it.
That's a fact.
Like, that's all I care about, bro. I just want to be loved, like, and that thing had a massive impact on my own life as well. You get me? Because I got siblings, but I'm the one that was dealt like that.
Right.
You feel me? Now, not to make excuse for him, whether it was because in my father altercation, and I look just like my dad, like I did something for my dad, bro. And whether it's because I like my dad, so he don't like me, or just he's got a negative impact towards kids, not all kids, but sadly just towards me, for whatever reason, that's on him, innit? But I'm young, innit? I'm not supposed to know that. I'm only one to know that I'm loved. I only want to be loved, innit?
For sure.
And the fact that I didn't get the love from him that I, you know, required, and that love wasn't invested, or that time or energy to show me love was invested in me, but anger and hatred was more given towards me. Of
course.
You know, and just conniving, funny little attitudes, it made me really angry and bitter, you get me, in certain aspects. So it then played out in my life, which caused me at age of 8 to see a psychiatrist.
Mad. So you was 8 years old and you were seeing a psychiatrist?
At school, at school.
Mad. But you weren't really opening up though, innit?
Nah, brothers. You know, you grew up in as well. Two reasons. One, I don't know you. 2, you grew up in the cabin community. We don't really talk our problems. That's a downfall of a lot of people. I'm not saying we should always tell social services or tell any people your personal business, but I didn't have that mindset to open up to anybody, not even my mother. Do you get me? Not even my mother, bro. So it was a sense where she didn't fully understand everything was going on, you know. But then again, even if she did understand certain things, she had her own traumas too, bro. Because, you know, I know my mother was a very loving woman, very caring woman, educated, well, smart woman, got 2 degrees. You get me? But at the same time, a woman, she was taken away from her mother as a youth. Because my mum from a place called Frankentown, East Kingston, Kingston 16. She's from Somerset Avenue. My mother and my uncle Jappy, they all grew up in one yard in a place called Frankentown, see? They call it Kirk now, but Frankentown. My mum, she was brought to England, so she never grew up with her brothers and sisters herself. So that yearning for her mum and her brothers and sisters, being here with my granddad, you get me? There's a yearning for deep down psychology. As a man, I'm looking at this now, innit? There's a yearning in it, and so naturally, things didn't work with my father. Innit? I didn't work with my brother, my elder siblings, father. Innit? There's 7 of us, and that's 7 from my mum. You get me? My father have enough kids, but it's like, then realistically, there's a yearning there for her in her unfulfilled love that she's seeking, innit? So whether my stepfather understood that psychologically and played on it, because of course you meet someone, they can tell you about their life growing up, innit? So whether he played on it, so she loved him, or maybe they really loved you. I don't know. I can't say. I'm a person I think deep in it, because I'm psychological. I've been through so much psychological abuse, so now I think deep in life, and I'm very psychological. So not understand exactly what happened with her and him and their relationship, and the dynamics of the relationship, but maybe he played on her desire for love or whatever. But or maybe therefore what I'm saying is maybe therefore she might have overlooked some things that she might have recognized between me and him when we were younger. When she got older, she knew, because at the age of 14, I think, or something like that, I tried to kill him. So she knew I went to stab him up. Right. So she knew there was a big problem at them times. But when I was 6 or 8, did she know fully? I don't know. What I'm saying is, the way he treated me didn't have to happen, bro. Like,
of course.
He just didn't. As a man, he didn't understand his responsibilities and what. Because you got with a woman who's got kids, bro. You're telling God and the universe that I want to love this woman and her children, innit? So you got to know the commitment you're making. You know what I'm saying? If I take a woman right now who's got kids, I got to know that I got to love that woman and the youth, them, innit? Naturally. Facts. So for him to treat me like that, he couldn't be in his right state of mind anyway. Himself.
Absolutely.
You get me? So, but again, I'm young, but I don't understand about emotional intelligence, emotional control, and kind of. So
and how would you be in that young?
You get me? There's many adults in this world who don't understand emotional intelligence, emotional control right now. You get me? But as a youth, I didn't understand. So I went through. His abuse led me to become violent. You know, doing like maybe me and a youth fight at school, I bullet up a youth at school, or something happens, and I say it wasn't me. And then, you know, or I would say he started it or whatever, and you know, it get resolved without me getting in serious trouble. And I'm thinking, right, I got away with that. And those kind of things continue. Not looking at that back at now, those kind of things made they were like pit starts for my destructive mindset, because I realized, right, I'm getting away. So you're doing more and more stuff, you know, you're getting away. You know what I mean? So I became good at doing things and getting away, which is a dangerous thing, because then it allows you to do more corrupted and more criminal activities or wrong things. Because if you're doing small petty things, getting away with it, you know what I mean? It's going to lead to bigger things. You get me? Of course. Which that led to me getting bullied at 4 high schools from 11 to 14. I got bullied at all my high schools. Mad. Got bullied at 4 high schools. And then I ended up going to States. It didn't work. I'm back to England. And then 15, mum decided you have to go to Jamaica, you know, because I had a lot of problems. Yeah. So robbery charge and a lot of things.
Like, obviously stay kind of on track. So from when you was, now we talk about the trauma, so that's obviously affected you, and has made you into this person now in your pre-teens, like basically you're wilding out, like you're doing your thing basically on a you know what I mean, on a sort of crazy one, isn't it?
Yeah, well, bro, I'm 11, I'm running from home. Like, my pre-teens is like I'm 11, I'm not even 13. You know I'm 11, I'm running from home. I'm out with my friends, I'm getting in trouble, getting in fights. You get me, getting arrested, you get caution.
And you even tried to even kill your stepfather as well.
14.
14.
Yeah, right. 14. Because he bent my sister's arm back. And it just got me mad. I just drove for a kitchen knife. Mum jumped in the middle of us. Mad. Do you get me? Mad. And at that time, she realised there's something things that really right between us. But then he was still around, to be honest with you. So you get me? So that again was a head mess for me.
100%.
Do you get me? Because I don't like him. But now I'm old enough to react. You feel me?
Right. And so that led on to, I guess, there was an instance where there was an armed robbery.
Yeah.
And I think you said previously that the police now come to your house looking for you. But you was in another police station, like doing a
ID parade. Yeah. So what is the robbery? The robbery they said I'd done. Yeah. This robbery at a shop. They said I'd done. This one I didn't do. I must have done any others. That, you know what I mean? But I'm saying that day they say when they came to my house in the morning, Friday in the morning, come to my house. My mum asked them, you know, what day and time this happened. And they're saying, well, the day and time it said happened, it didn't make sense because mum's like, well, hold on, you was with police on that day. So my alibi was actually police. Do you get me? But that shows how much police wanted me. I was a marked man to the police. Do you get me? Because there's a lot of robberies that happened. They say that I did.
And they used to call you by your name as well.
Stephen,
like, yo, Stephen, like.
Stephen. Mr. Graham and all this shit. Like, come on, like. You get me? You're young, you tell me F4 I don't know. You get me? Like,
100 million.
Yeah, so it was a mad one, isn't it? Like, when they mark you, innit? And it's the sad thing that happens, Fatty, but they marked me, you get me? So that's therefore they try to even put things on me that I didn't do. I'm not sitting out here like an angel, like I didn't do, because I have robbery charges, so it's a no-brainer. I did do robberies. You get me? I got a robbery and theft charge, I got a robbery charge on my criminal code. So it's not like I didn't do certain things, you get me? But that particular one they said I didn't do. And because they arrested me many times for things and I always got off, they hated me. Do you get what I'm saying to you? And that was another problem because they arrest you for something and you're always getting off robberies or this or that. Then they're going to say...
So it was at this point where I guess the mums is like, you know what, you might have to go take a flight and just cool off and back home sort of thing.
Yeah, well at that point when they done for the robbery and that they tried to frame me on, that was the time I had to go to Jamaica and cut and not come back. Do you get me? But before that, I went to Jamaica when I was 15. I went to Jamaica 3 times in 1 year.
Mad.
But I couldn't settle because my mind, psychologically, I wasn't in the right place. Do you get me? So I couldn't settle. I was always getting myself in problems. I had the beef. The first time I went to Jamaica, I had the beef with the biggest drugs, my son. I was constantly getting myself in arguments and fights with people down there. And because she sent me to my stepfather's family too, making it worse. St. Anne's, and you know, no disrespect to them, I didn't give them a chance to even love me or me to love them properly because I really disliked him. So naturally, I'm not going to like them, but she didn't want me in town either.
Yeah, you never gave them a chance.
I never really gave them that chance, to be honest with you. I'm going to be real honest, you get me? Some of them were messed up people anyway.
I respect the accountability.
I didn't, but listen, I have to take accountability for my actions because I've got to be real. Back in the days, I didn't get an opportunity to meet them to really bond because I raised this like my stepfather and they were his family, so it's like, do you get me? But it's like my whole journey, I believe, is all the anger and negativity and all the frustration I carried in me played out in all my actions. Do you get me? And I think the way I was carrying myself and the way I saw life and my paradigm, the way I visualized things is what made so much things happen in my life.
You know what I mean?
Do you get me? There's not much negativity in my life. So of course it brought a lot of negativity, you get me?
What goes up must come down, right? You know what I mean? So whatever you do, it's gonna rain on you, innit? You know?
Yeah, so I take responsibility. That's for me, one thing for me, I take responsibility for my actions, bro. I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm innocent and like don't get me wrong. I say in my book, no child is born rude, ill-mannered. That's not natural. That's not natural order of life.
It's a fact.
You get me? But we grow up and we're conditioned and we learn things. And there's 2 theories in psychology: condition theory and learning theory. I talk about this as well.
Right.
And by the things I learned and was conditioned in is what made me to be the person I was. Do you get me? And plus there's social situations too. A lot of my friends really have fathers around, and do you get me? So we're each other's peers, innit? We're telling each other what was each other's comfort. So we're all out here doing madness. We're all at age 11, meet at Kim Park Station, going to different areas, doing Listen Green, going here, going there, Gold Screen, doing stuff. You get me? Getting ourselves in trouble. Again, Marvin Herbert was one of us. You get me? Marvin Herbert. Yeah, I'm 11, Marvin's 14 and time 15. We're all running around doing madness. You get me?
Serious brother, that, you know.
We've been through our journeys. You get me? But it's like that's the reality. You get me? Me, him, Sky. A lot of us are running around doing our stuff. You get me? You know what I'm saying? Respect to all my brethren. Still, you know, lost Sky, RP to Sky. But it's like we were young and just, you get me? All of us had our own traumas. So we're our own peers. And like we don't know best for each other, so of course we're going to give each other what we think we need to hear.
You know, ain't that mad though? It's like, you know, if you look at the trail of activity, like you can almost root the behaviour down to something. Like you saying, we all had trauma traumas.
Of course.
We all come up, you get me? It was crazy, it was mad. And now we're these type of people now because we're trying to get away from, we don't want to be in that vulnerable state we was at once when we was enduring the trauma sort of thing.
Bro, you know, man was happy living in their fear, happy living in their distress, happy in the. When I say happy, I don't mean like really happy, but we
comfortable.
Yeah,
like.
we found refuge in our fear, refuge in our dysfunctional families. We found refuge in, you know, all the madness. And because we found refuge in it, we felt it was cool to be in it. Do you get what I'm saying to you? Like we'll say silly things to each other when we're younger, like, man, it's scared to go jail, man, it's scared this. But when police come, we run. You know? So then technically there is a level in the real world. We're not really comfortable in this life, but we're just caught up in this trauma, this traumatic bubble. Do you get where I'm coming from? But I had to burst that bubble, bro. I burst that bubble when I was in prison, but it took a long time and a lot of sad things, a lot of lives, a lot of people died, a lot of friends I've lost along this journey. Do you get me? That none of it's not really worth it. None of it's not really worth it, bro, when you look at the bigger picture.
Respect,
do you get me?
you, man. Seriously. So now, if we're talking Jamaica now, like, obviously we can agree it's a third world country, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially when you compare it.
Fourth world, bro.
You get me?
It's weird, bro.
Especially when you compare it to where we are now. It's like, obviously we come from where we come from. Call it what you want, the hood or whatever, you know what I mean? But the hood in Jamaica, or just areas in general, it's on a whole other type of level.
Yeah, well, cause Jamaica has a different level of things, and like over here, like when I say fourth world, because I say is the firearm, the whole weaponry scenes in Jamaica is different. Like over here it's more back in nowadays. Depends on you know this fight, you can there's access to firearms, but over here, over Jamaica, that's easy to get quicker. Do you get me? And it's more rampant. You feel me? And the prison system is not even third world. That's why I said fourth world, bro. The prison system is it shouldn't be a prison system, bro. Like the whole thing is revamped. Do you get me? And growing up when I was in Jamaica, like I said, I went to Jamaica 15, like I said, I went 15, I went there 3 times 1 year, 16, and I have to go and stay because mum says like too much problems. I'm over there and I got myself in a lot of problems, bro. Like,
so you're from foreign, as they say.
Yeah, foreigner.
So you're a foreign boy, basically.
Foreigner,
so you would have something to prove, I guess, when you're with the locals. They're looking at you like, you know what I mean? Like, who, like, look at me, like, you know what I mean? He's not us.
You know what, bro? Yeah. But no, in a sense, like, again, see, my mindset where I always thought I had something to prove. That's why I got beef with the biggest drug, my son. Because man calls me an idiot, boy. Bro, looking back on that right now, you call me an idiot foreigner, so what? Like, I said the girl you like. Because technically, it's all about girl situation. Yeah, so I had the girl you liked.
So that situation, to put the context in, so you're with a girl.
Yeah.
Right, and there's a big drug dealer's son, I guess. He's got evil eye because you got the girl that he wants, so he makes his comment.
You know, like, whether he even wants to be with her or whatever his situation is, he's trying to show up in front of her, innit? Oh, right. But the reality is, I know he did like her though, but I'm saying, whatever he wants to do, the point is, back to my self-responsibility. You call me eat that foreigner blood. I should have said, oh, so what? I got the pinch of salt. I got the gal in it. You get like, it's cool, innit? But my mind frame's not there in it, so in my head, it's like, you call me an idiot, blood. All right, watch. Proving, innit? The ego comes in, bro. That's not the self. That's not the true self, innit? That's not the real self. It's the false self who again lives in these fears. Refuge. Refuge in my pain. And so I'm like, right, okay. Got the girl up, come back down, no talking, bust him with the bottle straight, no itching. You get me? And then just being things after that, bro. And that's when man tried. Then I had to leave because I left the country, come back, and then made them kick off again, and catch up again. You get me? And this time is a man saved my life, one coolie guy saved my life, but at the same time, you know, it was all that was just worth it, bro. Like the whole thing that I've been through, when I look back at it, like man's been through so much different scenarios of violence, and you know, so I can say. People's lost their lives over foolishness, bro. Like when you look at the bigger, when you deep it, a lot of things happen we don't mean to make. Just look at the bigger picture. It could have been squashed. It could have played out differently. Yeah, much better if man had a better insight to life. Facts. You get me? Like, I'm not gonna sit here and act like, oh man, tough. No. A lot of the things was stupid, bro.
That's why we gotta respect a man like Mr. Graham, innit? Because he comes from it. You know what I mean? And it's like the accountability is real. You know what I mean?
Bruv, you have to the wake up time. It's a period in life you have to wake up in it, bruv, or you're gonna die a miserable life.
You know,
you're gonna die in your
children. Yeah, no, I'm fucking 100%.
So for me, I had to wake up and realize that half the things that I'd done didn't make no sense, blood. A lot of things that you're accountable for, and if you don't do something directly and you encourage this man to do something, you're still accountable for that situation too. So the amount of things that I think about that I'm accountable for, bro, half it didn't make sense, bro. In fact, 99% of it didn't make sense.
I respect it, man.
You understand? Didn't make sense at all, bro.
I respect
didn't
that.
make sense.
It.
You get me? From over here to Jamaica, a lot of things that happened, bro, didn't make sense.
I want to touch on an interesting experience that you had basically with the guy that you mentioned, the coolie individual, right? So
I saved my life.
Yeah, so a coolie, just to translate it, sort of, it's someone of Indian heritage, obviously in the West Indies, you know what I mean? So this individual, I guess, saved your life.
Yeah, my cousin are coolie as well, because my mom's half Indian.
Oh, right, yeah. Obviously, they're people, you know what I mean?
I'm West Kingston,
for sure. So this coolie individual, right? He, I guess, saved your life.
Yeah, he did. No, I guess he did.
So this instance that you had with the drug dealer son, after you bust his head with a bottle now, you got this paranoia, okay, now they're onto me, sort of thing, innit? So
I know whenever I see them, it's on in it, and I bought them at the beach.
Yeah, so you're at the beach now, you see them.
Yeah.
And then, talk to me about that situation.
Well, I'm going to the shower. I can't remember the reason why I'm going to the shower pipe. So I'm walking my bridge, and the next thing I'm walking, I see the boy, I hear somebody whispering, and I'm like, oh, God, I see him, 2 big bikes, car. I'm like, oh, my God, shit. I just go to the shower pipe, and so man, I was scared in it. So I cuff up myself and just kept walking towards there. While I'm doing what I'm doing, I walk back, I said to the youth, them, say, yo, blood, the man I'm up there. But I didn't know who the youth people. I didn't know who they were in it. I just know he's up there. I remember I don't know no one. I remember I'm kind of fresh now. I just came there once. I'm back now again. You get me? Because remember 3 times in 1 year. I'm back now again. I don't really know nobody like that. You get me? So the youth them, I tell the man them who's up there. So when they start naming certain names, every man starts shaking their booty. And I said booty because the one the man them come out some weak. Blood, the man them start shaking, blood. I'm like, oh, okay. So this kind of weak in my spirit as well, because I see everyone getting weak, and I'm like, no, I got tough inside. I said, come and go up there. And everyone's like, no. I said, no, let's leave. No, let's leave. The man will cry up for the sea. So I'm like, man can't say the sea.
They went swimming.
Yeah, they want to go jump in. And we can swim for what? Forever. Bro, this is my life here, blood. You get me? I mean? So I said to one of you, yo, give me a knife, innit? I take he had a big Rambo knife, the yellow Rambo knife with the compass on top of it. I take his knife in it and say, yo, man, go up there now. Everyone's like, no, the man will kill you. I'm like, blood, I'm going, blood. And everyone just jump in the sea and say, yo, just come, Rudy. Because I just come, Rudy, just come, Rudy, come here. I'm like, nah, blood. You get me? I'm not going. I'm not going, it's not swimming. I want to go. So one you try to speech me. And then I said, no, if I'm not able, this coolie man come over and say, when the coolie man come over though, everyone starts to come out of the water, innit? And then when I explain to him who is, see what I say? The man just look for the biggest piece of stick, bro, and broke it. I said, come, me and you walk up there. I just feel good, bro. I said, yeah. And I'm thinking, oh, you are just weak.
You know what I mean?
And I just, me and him bop up there, innit? So I grip the knife strong, but you get me? It's like, I can laugh at it now because at that moment I walked like, my heart was pumping.
100 million.
Because I know to myself, I don't know this coolie guy, but I know he went to fight for me. But I don't know if you can defend yourself or not. It's silly, I don't think that, but
okay.
The man is like dangerous, cool, innit? But in a way, looking at it, everyone ran over to him and you get me, and everyone saying, but I'm thinking, can he defend himself? But I'm like, he give me strength in this, let's go. But blood, the man never tried up because the youth is a dangerous little youth from St. Mary, you get me? He's a big man still.
So when you go over there,
the man
he squashed it.
He didn't even squash it, bro. When he was walking, he's a psychological guy, bro, because when he was walking, instead of us just walking towards, like, with the shower pipes and walking upstairs, he walked towards them. I walked right past them. So me gripping the knife and it's like, yo, because any move towards me, I know. I'm going to plunge and rip out your insides, because them knives have jagged, innit? So I know to myself, that knife going, if it's coming out, everything coming out with it.
Yeah.
So they never said like that day still. Like they just said like, yo, your body girl, and they just look at them. You get me? And we just cut through the past them, and when I cross the road, my whole life, blood, my heart went. Like that with shy relief, like, oh boy, I'm good, yeah. I felt good, blood. So boom. That situation. But sadly, Sadly, this what sometimes you drinking and liquor and misunderstanding can happen, blood. Me and him become, we're still friends, but we had a fallout, not a fallout, but altercation. You get me, me and the same Indian guy still, to be honest to you. You get me? That's again an example. I want everyone to listen to understand that, you know, people need to also check their minds when they're dealing with friends or when they're dealing with people. Or, you get me? Sometimes liquor can make you don't hold your liquor good.
Yeah, some bad mix.
You can do some bad things, bro. And the liquor still didn't make him, because he's a man who used to love drinks too, now like all I drink, but he's a love drinker, loving rum. You understand? And it made us all, me, him and my brethren from town kick off in it. I used to bring Tom man to St. Anne's.
So you're there with your two brethren. Them brethren are from out of town, they're not from
but they're not from St. Anne's, because I was in St. Anne's, I was staying in St. But my mum, like I said, mum from Kingston, my friend from Kingston, Spanish Town, them places. But I found my own way to town and I start linking my brethren and my family, and you get me, and I made some other link, just made link with certain man in town who just like me and just rate me and just said, yo, so we start powering it. Even my cousin now power, but certain man are powering it. So I bring down one dangerous youth from Jews and come down, you get me? It's my close Cody, you get me? And he's a dangerous, he was a shot at Jews and you get me? And my next little brother jungle, you get me? Seriously, he's from out of Havana. So we're powering, you get me? And it's like, my downfall, blood, is like, for me, like you kick off, to be honest to you, even now I'm thinking about it, it hurts, but I know at the same time,
it's a mad interesting story though. Like it depends how you want to look at it, like innit? But I'll let you finish.
Yeah, because I know that I saved his life, but at the same time, that's what I'm saying to you, people don't realize the detrimental things of when you're not in control of your emotions. That's the problem. That's where it says earth, because I look back at how my emotions wasn't really intact, or his emotions were intact, or neither of us, well, especially me and him. If our emotion intact, we wouldn't even allow ourselves to get in certain situations.
100%.
You get me? Because even a person drinking, you must know when to stop drinking.
Do you know what I mean?
You understand? But if you don't have emotional intelligence and you don't control yourself, you're going to allow yourself to overdrink or oversmoke or get too high or get too red. And you get me? Them things can be detrimental.
Absolutely.
Both for male and female.
Absolutely.
You understand? A woman, it can be detrimental because things can happen to you. Males can be detrimental because you can put your life in danger.
You know what I mean?
You understand? So, me not understanding myself at the time of blood, him not understanding himself at the time there, my youth come over to me and my brethren and running up his mouth, talking to me some silly talk and, you know, Rudy this, Rudy that. I'm like, easy blood, cause I'm never my friend of mine. Then he's like, you get me, his tone and talk get too tough. So my brethren must say, yo, blood, easy, move, I'm to them boy. You get me? But he's like to me, tell them like, dude, tell them who I am. They won't say me and you get me? And he's not a fool, blood. I would never even sit here and say he's a idiot, because he's not. He's a serious piece of youth, blood. You get me? But you them he's talking to, one of them youth, they don't have his head not right, blood. You get me? That's why I call him Atted. But that's not his real name still. You get me? But I say my book I call him Atted, but he know he's my brother from Jews, like that. Dangerous youth, blood. A real dangerous youth. You get me? You see me on the youth. Like, and so technically him know, he turn around and say, yo, man is whisper to his cousin, boom, 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 in each of his ears. So when we see the play, blood, man, them circle different ways. And Mark see the play, but they're smart because they know what they want to do in it. Because them days we used to guard the car nice in it. Because we bring that style, we bring that style down run NBA still, where we manage to cut off the top of the ratchet still. You get me? And
but the garlic thing is a bit mad.
Yeah, because we used to guard the car nice. I won't say that we bring that, but we be on the cut off ratchet thing. Because we used to cut off our 3-star them. I won't say Adam ever do it, but we do it and we're active with it. Because there's a situation where mine get called on certain things in it. Because we cut off the top of, like, in the ratchet, the 3-star ratchet is 3-star English. 3-star ratchet, they got, it's like, the blade is closed in the sheath, in the wood. But what we do, we cut the wooden part off in it. We cut the top of the wooden part off with something like a saw, anything, you cut off anything, sharp knife, anything, cut off the top. So then if you have that much of the blade showing, so you don't have to open it, you can just bottom man's head with it. Yeah. You get me? So
what do they call it, like thumb blading or something?
No, we don't call them. We just say we are butt a boy in his face with it. You get me? So we just butt man them head or them face or whatever with it. You get me? So you still stand up like that much piece without even pulling the knife, without backing the ratchet. Because ratchet is something you can flick. You get me? Ratchet knife, you flick it and you peel it. But when you with that, you have to do it. You just but and still can flick after and do what you want to do after. You get me? So anyway, My brother goes this way, he go that way. Mark cut the play in it, but they did it because they wanted to cut the play. So true, every man got it nice in it. So that going easy and it bleed more. You understand? You bleed more.
So the garlic thing, when it cuts, I guess it's just gonna cause weight.
Yeah, you bleed more. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, so and it going smooth. You don't really feel like that. You understand? So Mark, the man, then you go this way, you go this way, and then me when you see the play in it, my man boss, he's ratchet. And my man have his ratchet shut for bottom, but he might watch the butt. You know, so my man ratchet open for done his life, innit? You understand? I mean, after would I take his life without
So they was getting ready to
without a second of thought, but I know to myself that would have been a dead man there. That's ghost blood.
100%,
You get me?
100%.
So I said to myself, you know what? No, blood. Yeah, I mean, I can't ghost my brethren. You feel me? In my mind, much I'm drunk, you know, it's like, I have to spot the play, blood. So I grab my youth, you understand, with the rod of the knife open, and take the knife at it. You get me? And I pull him down, because he's a cool in it, long hair, I pull him by his ear in it. Everybody scream out, because one thing, I stab him in his back, in it. You get me? I remember that, but let's give him a couple cuts in his back, in it, and push him off. But when I push him off still, I kind of move him away from my other bird, from jungle, so my bird, you know, stab, bottom, you get me? I even just pull out his thing and stab him up. So, it kind of, everything's kind of end and then we cut in it, but everybody try to ask him to charge me and everything, but he never did, he never charged me, you get me? He never charged me. I'm probably a gangster still, you get me? And he wouldn't charge me still, but
you know what's mad though, like I said, it depends how you look at it, but for me, it's like you almost say, you see.
No, I definitely saved his life, bro. I definitely saved his life.
Had you not done that,
they would have killed him.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
They would have killed him, but on a deeper level, yeah, I say that, but on a deeper level, if we had emotional intelligence sometime there, all of us, that wouldn't have reached that way. But because we wouldn't have been like smoke over, drink, or you get me?
You was like you knew, you was aware of what you was doing when you done it. So you're thinking, right, let me just do this one. Yeah. So we can live to see another day.
I was aware enough, but that's because street intelligence. That's not emotional intelligence. That's street intelligence.
100%.
Because I was aware of what happened. You get me? But that's street intelligence. Man can foresee something in the street, but that's street. That's the energy for the streets, isn't it? It's not emotional intelligence where we're talking about life forces.
100%.
Or how do you keep a more positive life force, energy? How do you keep a more positive energy? Because that's what most changes is about, keeping yourself positive
100%.
and not allowing the negativity of life to overcome you. And everything. You get me? So if I had more emotional intelligence, I would have even reached that stage. I was so high, or my bedroom was so high, or even when he came over, I would have found another way of, you get me, instead of me even just
talking it out.
Even, you get what I'm saying? And if he had more chance, he wouldn't even come over and act like that for about 2 bedrooms. Because he knows, say, around them time, there was a scheme in it. There's a scheme building up, side scheme was building up, and security guards were from Kingston. But I might link them in it. Because my brother knows the security guards, so me start part of the security guards. So legally, the security guards are allowed to carry guns because they're protecting the scheme that's getting built. So you them in St. Anne's are saying that we had guns over there, they were illegal. You understand? So police never do nothing, but because the security guards are legal to have guns, so the security guards will work with us with a legal gun. You understand what I mean? So if man, the whole energy around my life and everything, and things I was doing wasn't even too positive.
100%.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like a lot of things that I've done, like places I carry myself, the things I put myself in, and the things I got myself into. When you look at the bigger picture, bro, it just wasn't making sense.
100%.
Do you feel me?
Mad.